Hi everyone! So a few weeks ago I used the liquid metals on a card. I'm going to show you how to use just one of the colors with distress inks. So I'm taking several distress inks, you can see them on the bottom, in a rainbow order. I'm going to have all of the colors linked below if you're interested in any of them. They're all of the newer colors from the release last year. So I'm just adding those onto my nonstick craft sheet. And you don't need too much ink because you're going to be adding all of those onto a piece of cardstock, so there's quite a bit of ink there in total. So I'm just spritzing each one with some water, just about 3 or 4 squirts each. And then I'm going to be taking the Platinum Liquid Pearls. It's just like a silver, it looks white when it comes out of the bottle, but I'm adding a drop of this to each color of distress ink. You can see there's just one drop of that. And this is going to turn your distress inks into like a pearly ink. So you'll be able to see it kind of on the end. It makes them look a little bit lighter too. It kind of changes the brightness of them. So I'm adding these onto a piece of watercolor cardstock. I'm just wiping my brush off in between so that I don't contaminate colors, and by the time I get to purple it's brown, because I want the colors to stay true to what they actually look like. So I'm just coloring these onto my watercolor cardstock. I'm not caring what it looks like on the ends because I'm actually going to be cutting those off. But you can see, especially in that green, you can really see how pearlized that is. And it's really, really pretty. You could do this with any distress ink. So you really wouldn't need to buy any of the colored liquid pearls per se, because if you buy that platinum one, you can change any color distress ink into kind of its own liquid metal pearls. So I went ahead and let this piece dry completely before I moved on to the rest of my card. You can see I'm just adding little finishing touches there, kind of blending those colors together a little bit. If you overlap them, they'll blend even better. So I cut off the edges, and I'm taking this die, it's the stitched circle die from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm centering this right onto that piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape it down with some washi tape and run it right through my Cut-O-Bug. So I'm going to be using both pieces still, so I don't want to throw any of that away. I'm going to put the negative piece, so the one with the circle cut out of it, onto a piece of black cardstock that I already cut down to fit. I'm just going to line that up on there. And then I'm going to take that black piece and adhere it to a white A2 size card base. Again, I'm going to center it because it's the same length as the card base, but not the same width. So then for the centerpiece, I'm going to be taking some 3D foam squares and just adding those onto the back. I'm using the large ones from Best Creation. And all of the supplies I'm using on this card will be linked below if you're interested in checking any of them out, which I highly suggest you do because these are awesome products. They're my favorite. Distress inks and the liquid metals are just awesome. So I lined that up so that it fit right where that watercolor was already die cut. You can see how it's popped up on there. It creates that kind of cool effect on the card. I went ahead and die cut this hello die out of a piece of black cardstock. I'm going to be adding my multi-matte medium to the back of it. So I'm just going to be adding some little dots all along there. You could also use your Xyron sticker maker, that way the entire thing is covered with adhesive and you don't have to worry about any glue squirting out of the edges or anything like that. So I'm going to carefully pick that up and then I'll place it right in the center of my circle. Just make sure that all of the little pieces are pressed down and have adhesive on the back so that they don't pop up, especially if you're mailing it or something like that. And then the final step, I'm going to be taking this May Arts Natural Twine and tying a bow around the top of my card. So I put it in between the card base, and then I'm first going to tie a knot. It always makes it easier if you tie the knot on your card, and then you don't have to worry about it moving or anything like that on you. And then I can go ahead and tie my bow. So one thing that always helps me kind of get my bow situated is I take the 2 strings and then the 2 loops and pull them in the opposite direction. It always seems to kind of help the bow even and lay flat. And then I'll trim off the extra. And then that is my finished card for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll check out those liquid metals, especially the platinum one, because you can do so much with it and combine it with your distress inks to create your own colors. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you all back here next time. Bye everyone!